Commodity Watch Radio at mindsight.com.
Okay, I'm talking now to Mike Hampton, aka DrBubb. Mike's in Hong Kong, I'm in London as always. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Dominic.
Mike, let's start with the gold price. It's our favourite subject, we always address it, and let's address where we are now.
Okay, well, we've seen a little bit of a bump upwards in the gold price, up towards, I think it was about 882 or 884. And now it's pulled back a little bit. But what's really interesting are really two things here. We're seeing these pullbacks happen in lighter and lighter volume. And we're also seeing something which is actually very bullish for gold. We're seeing the sentiment, even amongst the those who write reports on gold and stocks and so forth, the sentiment on gold is getting very bearish. And that, paradoxically, is bullish, because it means people are acting on their views, they're selling, they're coming out of gold. So they're building up reserves and resources which are going to come back into the market when they get bullish again. So Mark Holbert, who tracks these kind of things, says that gold sentiment has now hit a level which is actually very bullish. So we've got the charts coming in our favor. You know, I'm still looking for a possible retest of about 850. And now the sentiment's right as well. So I think we're getting ready for a nice move up in gold pretty soon.
This always amazes me about, so-called gold bugs, is that even though they claim they're gold bugs, there still seems to be so little belief in gold. And I'm sure that's why you see such violent sell-offs in gold stocks. Because if people really believed in them, they wouldn't trade them, they'd hold them. And, people do believe in oil. They do believe in peak oil, and yet there isn't that same belief with gold.
Well, yes, that's right. Part of it is that you can't burn gold in your gas tank. You don't, thank God, because it would be a very expensive fuel. But it doesn't have the same usefulness as oil.
That's precisely my point, Mike. Is that the obvious need for oil is apparent. The need for gold as a store of wealth still isn't yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the posters on GEI had posted something about that. He referred to a novel which is being turned into a movie called The Road. I think it's coming out later this year, and it's been filmed, or is being filmed now. And he was talking about how this is the post-apocalyptic America, and father and son are out, looking for their survival, and they come across a cache of things which are stored somewhere that, before the apocalypse somebody put down. And they found various useful things in there, but they found Kruger ants. And in the book, and I think maybe in the movie as well, they throw away the Kruger ants because they can't eat them. Now, I actually think the future won't look like that, and Kruger ants will be a very useful thing. Because what is the real value of gold? The real value of gold is money. And, gold, as they say on one of the radio shows, gold is and will always remain money, and that's its value.
Am I right in saying that American fighter pilots, in their little emergency packs, should they find themselves stranded in an alien country, are given a couple of gold sovereigns?
Yeah, I've been told that, and funnily enough, it's gold sovereign rather than an American gold coin, because gold sovereigns trade mainly on their gold value. So, whereas American gold coins, there aren't many around anymore, they trade on numismatic value. They trade at a fat premium to gold. And the government's smart enough to realize that, it's better to have, something, instead of paying extra for it. I suppose they could print the coins, but then they'd all get stolen. So they use gold sovereigns. And gold sovereigns have been a global money at certain times in the past, and maybe again in the future.
I don't know if this is something you watch, Mike, but with my 7-year-old boy, I've recently been subjected to all 6 episodes of Star Wars, and in fact I've been subjected to them several times. And episode 1, which is actually the 4th that was made, they end up, in the far distant reaches of the galaxy, and one of the heroes tries to pay for something, and this was made, I guess, back in around 2000, I'm not sure about that, but, some years ago, and one of the heroes tries to pay for something with an imperial note, and his attempt to make this payment is sternly rejected with the call, "Your money is no good here."
Yeah, I love it. Your money is no good here. Well, that's what happens to fiat currency, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Particularly in the distant reaches of the galaxy.
So what happens is a fiat currency like the dollar is maybe useful everywhere for a long time, and then eventually it's not useful in a few countries, and then more and more countries it's not useful, until finally it's not useful even in the country of issue. So maybe that's where we're at it.